has reminded us something very important when it comes to beer on Sunday mornings and alcohol on Sunday mornings, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So what have we found?
Well,
you can now, I believe it's 10 o'clock, right, on Sundays. You can serve alcohol.
Well, Greeley says, for the record, the governor has not yet signed the 10 a.m. Sunday liquor sales bill into law, and he signed that.
We talked to Peter Franklin earlier this morning, who said, "I just think it should stay the same. People should not be able to get a drink on their way to church." I disagree. We are all adults here. And there are already many laws in place to prevent people from doing something, underage people from buying alcohol. But to say that based on religion, where we always have said we want a separation between church and state, right, that we, based on religion, would allow for the government to say you can't buy on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, and is that a real fear that people are going to be getting blitzed on their way to church?
I think if you go back to the Puritan days, I believe that it was thought that this is a day of rest. Sunday is the day of rest. Now, I don't want to get into a religious conversation because we all still believe that, right? Sunday is supposed to be the day of rest and on the seventh day. However, somebody better tell everybody, because I don't see a lot of rest going on Sundays.
Well, and the other thing is, too, though.
Is that the next law, that you're not allowed to work? Stores can't be open? You can't go to Target on Sunday?
Well, but you can still buy alcohol on Sunday just after a certain time.
Okay, so you can't go shop before noon on Sunday.
Well, and we got to consider.
Well, no, I'm not agreeing with that.
You understand what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It is ancient, and it's got to go. I think 10 o'clock is ridiculous. I think it should be at the norm, whatever you can normally buy. 8 o'clock in the morning, you can buy a drink. You can serve a drink at 8 o'clock in the morning. Somebody wants to go in. Let me tell you, on a Sunday morning, after a rough Saturday night, a Bloody Mary is what the doctor ordered.
Well, and let me ask you this as well, because I don't know the answer to this. Like, grocery stores sell beer. I can buy beer, right?
I didn't know this. We had a Father's Day barbecue at our house. The weather was beautiful too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Father's Day barbecue at our house, and I did the shopping, as I'm going to be doing the cooking, and I knew that I had to get some certain beverages for the fathers that were going to be
drinking.
there. And the drinking. And I know there's certain fathers that like certain things. People that were going to be there like certain things. So I wanted to get a few beer products, and I didn't pick up anything because you can't buy beer until noon, right? So I'm walking through the checkout turnstile, and the person in front of me or over the other aisles is buying a case of Utica Club. Mm. So I said to how does she get away with that? Well, you can buy beer on Sunday mornings. That law is about serving. It's not about purchasing in a grocery store or in a store. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you can buy after. Can you buy beer in a store after 2 a.m.?
No.
No, you can't.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, we got to be lucky. We got to consider ourselves lucky either way, because I've lived in states in the South where you're not getting anything on Sunday. If you don't stock
forget
up
the
on...
South. I was it was like New Hampshire or Vermont back in the 80s, maybe. It was a long time ago. Might have changed since then. But you couldn't buy on Saturday night after like 6 or 7 o'clock. You couldn't buy anything. And, when you're out, you can't buy it. You can go to a bar and buy it, but you couldn't buy it at a store. And some of those states have package stores. You can't buy beer or any of that stuff in grocery stores. I mean, every state has different rules and regulations.
And to the comment of somebody possibly drinking before church, Jesus doesn't judge.
It's like they said on the 8th day.
This is our
God
intern, by the way.
Yeah.
And what was that again?
On the 8th day, God had a beer.
Oh, there he is.
That's
Angelo.
in the
There you
Bible,
have
I'm
it.
pretty sure.
I believe it might be. All right, well, I got to get to Rick, and Bill is standing by on the line right now in New Hartford. Bill, you're on.
Okay, Bill, just a quick...
I don't know, but I can barely hear you, Bill. I don't know. Are you are you on a hands-free or what?
My phone then or something.
There's something wrong with your phone.
His can attached to our string with a
Does it
can
work?
is not
Okay.
functioning correctly.
Some of the threads are coming out of the
All right,
string.
Bill, I can barely hear you, but I'll try to repeat what you say. Go ahead. What do you have?
Hey, back in late 60s, early 70s, I don't...
Back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Boston, you could not get a beer
In Boston.
on Sundays.
You could not get a beer or any alcohol on Sundays.
Puritan rules.
Puritan
Probably
rules.
changed now, of course, but
It's completely changed now.
Of course.
Because as my daughter says, the devil's liquid. Or
Is that what
something
she
like
calls
that. She calls it.
What have you done to her?
And I'm like, come on. If Michael Jackson calls it Jesus juice. Let's stop.
Now go fill me up.
Yeah, the devil's liquid, or the devil's juice, or the devil's water. There goes Bill.
His buttons work fine.
Anyway, the buttons work fine. Bill, you got to get that phone fixed, because I don't know what in the heck's going on
It's
there.
got maybe
Something's
some
wrong.
dust in the lines.
Could be. We could blow that out. Here is Rick Zaccaro. Big event coming up on Saturday. Of course, this is Boilermaker weekend. And on Saturday, it's becoming a bit of a tradition to have a concert, a show on Saturday night before the Boilermaker. And this year, it's Rick's Billy Joel Tribute Band. And Rick Zaccaro on the line right now. Rick, good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Bill? Thanks for having me.
I'm glad. First of all, I want to play a little tease of what people can get. This is Rick. This is an actual in-concert version of Rick up on stage doing a little Billy Joel. Listen to this.
I've seen all the movie stars, the fancy cars and their limousines. Been high on the Rockies, under the evergreens, yeah. I was only having fun, wasn't hurting anyone. Sing us a song, yeah, the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well,
That's good stuff. And that'll be Saturday night at the Stanley Theater. And Rick, it's a pleasure. And Rick plays the piano. He actually looks a little like Billy Joel these days. And Rick,
That's right.
Rick, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
I have to time my haircuts now, Billy.
Okay, you do. I get it. I totally get that. So, listen, tell me, how do people get tickets for Saturday? Now, Greeley Ford, our good friend Greeley, who, by the way, is now a commissioner at the what's it called? The Alcohol and Liquor Authority. And Greeley, of course, will be playing on the bass as part of your band on Saturday night.
That's right. He just gave our band a liquor license, too.
He did. That's perfect.
know.
You're all set. What it starts at 7 o'clock, am I correct?
Actually, the cash bar starts at 5 o'clock,
Oh.
and the show is a 2-hour Power Pack Billy Joel show, 6 to 8.
Okay, got it.
We had promised to get everybody out by 8 o'clock so the serious runners can get their rest.
Smart.
For the Boilermaker.
Yeah, that's a smart move. And is the America's Got Talent artist, is he going to be performing too? Is that happening on Saturday?
Ryan Quinn, just did extremely well on NBC's The Voice.
Yeah.
He'll be doing 2 songs with us. He was in the studio last week with us rehearsing, and he sounds fantastic. He's great.
Yeah, I like
and
him.
we also have here's somebody like the actor that portrayed the most interesting man in the world, Jonathan Goldsmith, will be there for meet and greets, and I think he's going to introduce the band even.
How did so that's awesome. And my question would be, how did that come to be? What's his tie to here?
Well, I got to thank the Carbone Auto Group because that's who's sponsoring the show. And Alex is good friends with Jonathan, and we actually have helped him buy a bunch of cars through the Carbone Auto Group. Jonathan he's got a place in Vermont.
Got it.
And he also has a place out in L.A.
He's a very interesting guy.
He is. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. Jonathan and his wife Barb are just great people, and they'll be there. They'll be there with us, so it's gonna be fun. They're great people. How
much are tickets and all of that? All the details.
Tickets start at $15 and go up to $40, depending on how close somebody wants to sit. You can go right to the Stanley.org. You can call the Stanley Theater. It's 315-724-4000. And they are also available on Ticketmaster, but, it's probably easiest to call the Stanley.
Okay. And Rick, of course, is in the auto world, and I'll go back to 1992. Every guy especially, and maybe women are the same way, but every guy I know, at the very least I know me, you have your favorite vehicle of all time. The vehicle you had, and you wish you had it back. It was my 1992 Honda Prelude. It was blue and purple in color, and there were very few of them. You know the story about how I was trying to get into one and I couldn't get into it, and come to find out it wasn't my car.
I tell that story all the time. When you were out in New York City and
Yeah.
you were beating your Prelude to death because you couldn't get in it.
That was at
Didn't some woman bring a policeman over and they helped you find your car?
I believe, if I can be completely honest, it was Chase Stadium. It was actually security. But there were very, very few of those cars. A woman in Frankfurt, I think, had one a while back, and I'd see it going around. I'm like, oh my God, there's my car. And but Rick sold me that the 1992 Honda Prelude back in 1992.
I remember that.
So,
that was a fun situation.
All right. Well, listen, you are the piano man, and you do an amazing job. This all-star cast you've assembled here is going to be incredible. Saturday night show, check it out. It's a great event for Boilermaker Weekend. You're looking for something to do on Saturday. And as you said, it starts, the open bar, the cash bar begins at 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock. And
Okay.
it is a benefit. All the money is going to be donated back to our Stanley Theater to help support our Stanley, because it takes a lot of money to run our theater. And I'll also be donating more Yamaha pianos to the elementary schools like I've been doing. I think there'll be about 4 or 5 schools receiving pianos this time, because some of the companies around town have called me and asked if they can help donate pianos. So
Wow.
that program is really gaining momentum, and I'm very proud of that.
Well, Rick, if you don't know, that you've donated, how many up to this point? How many pianos have you donated to local schools?
We did 3 shows last year, and I gave away 8 pianos, and then I go play for the kids and donate the piano to the elementary schools. It's been very rewarding for me as a musician.
Listen, you got to stop this work stuff so we can get you in studio with a keyboard. The last time you were in, we did a little Name That Tune, and Rick can play anything.
It was awesome.
That was his Christmas show, I believe.
It was.
One of the
That's
highlights.
right.
That
That's right.
was, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'll set some time. I'll get together with you. We'll set some time and say
All right.
we'll get another one of those going for you.
around here we say, work, schmirk. Get into the studio with that keyboard, all right?
I love it.
Okay. Again, Rick, Saturday night with your all-star cast. Good luck, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
All right, Rick Zaccaro. Here's a little more of Rick doing some of his Billy Joel. Great example of his incredible work at the piano. Pretty awesome. It's Saturday night, the Boilermaker Show, and of course it benefits the Stanley Theater. Good night. Come on out and check it out. The details available over at the Stanley or at Ticketmaster. Hold on tight. We're coming right back. We'll wrap it up. Talk about this Minnesota shooting that happened overnight, and the video that came out, and taking a little criticism on my comments. And I want to talk about that when we come right back. Hold on tight. 2 minutes away at WIBX.